So the police get around to searching Barry George's house, and amongst other things they find a list of guns handwritten on a piece of paper. This is a list of replica blank firing guns. So you've got government automatic, Colt 45 Browning, G145. So all of these guns are based on the Colt 45 or the Colt 911. So you've got the real one on the left and you've got the blank firing one on the right. So this gun can be converted to fire live rounds. The police also find, which I believe was amongst the reels of undeveloped pictures, a picture of Barry George holding what appears to be a blank firing government automatic. So when the police question Barry George, they ask him about this gun, and I don't believe Barry George was aware that they had this picture.
Did you ever buy a G145 8mm blank firing government automatic?
No, sir.
Have you ever possessed one of those?
No, sir.
Have you ever handled one of those?
No, sir.
Have you ever fired one of those?
No, sir.
Did you ever buy a G145 8mm blank firing government automatic?
No, sir.
Have you ever possessed one of those?
No, sir.
Have you ever handled one of those?
No, sir.
Have you ever fired one of those?
No, sir.
So in the police interview, Barry George admitted to owning 2 replica blank firing guns in the past, but he wouldn't admit to owning the one that the police have in the picture. Why? What's so special about this gun that an innocent man that had nothing to do with the Jill Dando's murder would feel that he would need to lie to the police about? He admits to owning 2 replica guns in the past, but doesn't admit to this one.
You purchased any other guns other than the 2 you've just mentioned to me?
Just the 2 I just mentioned, sir.
I think you're lying, Mr. George. Is there a reason?
To my knowledge, that is the only 2 that I purchased, sir.
Seems to me, Mr. George, you certainly possessed at least 2 weapons, 2 firearms, if not 3, whether they be replica, blank firing, or imitation firearms. That's right, isn't it? At least 2, if not 3. Is that right, Mr. George?
Only those 2, sir.
Is that right, Mr. George? Is that right, Mr. George?
Only those 2, sir.
Is that right, Mr. George?
Again, why did Barry George not admit to owning this gun? He admitted to owning 2 other guns. What's so special about this gun that Barry George does not want the police to know that he owned a 3rd gun? Now, I'm not saying this gun has been converted to fire live rounds, but what I am saying is something has happened to the top of this gun, because you can see the barrel and you can see the spring exposed. The gun doesn't come like that. And as I showed in the last episode, even when he was released from prison, he was still saying it wasn't him in the picture. So I think this was about 2008 or 2009 this article came out. As for the picture, George said that's not me, but I can't comment too much on it because there are ongoing legal issues. Barry George insists he is not the man, not the gun-toting man in the photo which was found when police raided his home. Okay, there's lots of information out there in regards to converting blank firing guns to fire live ammunition. According to this article written by survivalsullivan.com, I'll put a link in the description. The 9mm pack blank firing guns fire a blank cartridge that has an overall length very similar to a live 380 ACP or a 32 ACP rounds. Because of this, the blank guns that fire 9mm packs blanks can easily be converted to fire 380 or 32 ACP cartridges. Granted, the 380 or 32 ACP cartridges aren't the most powerful handgun cartridges available, but they are capable of causing lethal wounds. So 380 cartridge. And what cartridge was Jill Dando shot with?
Left behind at the crime scene was the cartridge case and the bullet.
It's a 9mm short or 380 caliber cartridge case made by Remington in the USA on or after July 1994.
Again guys, I don't want to be too technical because I think it will bore people, but here's another piece from an article called The Gun Survey. This article is about converting replica guns or blank firing guns to fire live ammunition. I'll put a link in the description. And this says the ammunition that the blank firing firearm can chamber is an important factor. Many blank firing pistols have shorter chambers, as blank firing cartridges are shorter than cartridges fitted with projectiles. Bulleted cartridges are not perfect fits in blank firing firearms, but can often be manipulated. Okay, this is from the same article. Standard bulleted ammunition does not typically fit blank firing handguns, given their smaller chambers. These weapons therefore require specific types of ammunition alterations to industrial manufacturing rounds before they can fire live ammunition. Blank ammunition can also be fitted with a projectile. These modifications can involve cutting into the crimped end of the cartridge, inserting a projectile and resealing a case. A projectile can be pressed into the plastic cover of certain blank cartridges.
Well, the cartridge case has 6 small, almost like pin pricks round the case. These are stab crimps, which we think we used to hold the bullet in place. As you can see, they were made by a sharp tool, possibly the tip of a short nail or an automatic center punch.
Well, what is crimping? It's primarily to hold the bullet in the cartridge case. In this situation, what has he done? Has he found another bullet to put onto the cartridge case? Has the original bullet become loose? Or has he taken the bullet out and added powder or removed powder? Whatever the circumstances, he has knowledge of firearms and he has knowledge of the cartridge case to be able to do that and crimp it.
Okay guys, so read between the lines. Before I go, I'm going to leave you with Jill Dando's brother and see what he has to say about it.
It was just a misguided individual who was in that street on the day with a firearm, who knew where Jill lived and who just struck lucky for what